Hi, everybody. So I'm here delivering a message on what pride means to me during this time. For me, as an Indigenous woman and allies to many other marginalized communities, historically and presently, pride means to me in supporting and uplifting the LGBTQ2S plus community and recognizing the histories that we all share and how we can move forward to resist colonialism and violence, and in particular, police violence. Thank you.
Reminded every pride of the intricacy of celebrating pride and why it's so important and vital to the community at large. There are so many people that don't have access to the opportunity to be able to march or gather and be out and be proud, or to include their chosen families in the gatherings. And it's particularly difficult for communities to come together, remembering all the atrocities and the fighting that has had to happen to keep the LGBTQ2S community on the radar. It would be very easy for that to slide off the radar altogether. And now more than ever, we need to keep the momentum of honoring all of the lives that make up the LGBTQ2S community. And that also includes those with disabilities and different abilities, invisible disabilities and episodic disabilities. So when I hear the word pride, as a person living with a physical disability, I see pride as a reflection. I actually call it inaccessible pride. So I try to find ways to engage with pride, but it has become harder as time moves on, as the crowds get bigger. And I think in reflection to a story of a guy that I encountered one day in a coffee shop, who turned to me dancing to the beat of the music it was around the end of May, 2 or 3 years ago. And he apologized for dancing. And I said, no, please do. Young black man. And he turned to me and he said, you know, I get so excited about pride at this time of year. You can almost feel the party. And he said, and every time this time of year comes, I realize I made it to Pride without getting shot. I was profoundly drawn to his comment, but I also had to reflect on why he chose to tell me that. So when I went to join my friends at the table, in the middle of their conversation, I eventually told them what had just taken place and how moved I was from his comment. And the reflection of what his reality was from his community, that he was downtown, he was in the midst of feeling wanted, feeling included and inclusive in the community at large. I have never forgotten that moment, and that also is how I see how pride should be and how it should be celebrated more inclusively, with more gusto than we have in the past. So having said all of the past Pride experiences and the inaccessibility that Pride has been faced with for so many Prides now, I think this would be, under the current environment, it would seem to me to make a perfect opportunity for Pride to come together within their own ranks to figure out how can we address the inequities in how we celebrate Pride. So it's inclusive for all. And I think under the fact that we're maybe just doing virtual Pride, there's a lot of money that could, and resources that could be better spent in organizing a much more inclusive Pride for us all. This is a golden opportunity. And I think we're being given that opportunity. So we need to review our history and how we got here and what Pride has meant for so many, from so many different cross sections and intersections in our community. I think this would work better to do it now than organize something that misses the mark 2 years from now.
What does Pride mean to me? Well, Pride is a celebration. It is protest. It is connection. We often forget this, but Pride is the opposite of shame. And every year I find myself overwhelmed with pride when I join my community all over the world, occupying streets and taking up public space. Pride was born from a defiant act of resistance made by a Black trans woman. And today Pride continues as a defiant act of love by the 2S LGBT community that is bigger, brighter, and broader than ever. Right now, our communities are fighting a global pandemic while continuing to challenge systemic racism. Amplifying the voices of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color is more important than ever, and Realize stands in solidarity with these efforts. This year, Pride may be different for some of us, and instead of focusing on the loss of parades and Pride stages, I want to encourage everyone to remember that online shows, virtual drag performances, and Zoom DJ sets make Pride more accessible to queer and trans people living with disabilities. We are facing these challenges together as 2S LGBTQ people who are always growing, learning, and evolving. I'm hopeful that some of the changes we've made this year find their way into future Pride celebrations. So whether you're doing drag on your deck or letting loose in your living room, remember that this year, Pride has come home.
Hey, it's me, your friend Shaun Proulx from the Realize Board of Directors, and I'm wishing you a blessed, happy Pride, no matter where you are, no matter who you love. Just remember this, everyone looks good in rainbow. I was asked to remember and think about what Pride means to me, and I think for Pride, I have to say that for me, it's about going out into the world with a full expression of who you are. We've all been told we were less than. We've all been told that we were not enough. We've all been told that we were wrong, that we were bad, that we were dirty, and many other nasty things along the way and of our journeys. But I think that this is the time of the year when we show them that they were all wrong. And so express yourself, be yourself, and then the rest of the year, go back to the people who aren't there yet in your lives, who need that gentle nudge out of the nest so that they fly again next year and year after year after year after that. Happy Pride.